we have been testing the fasting-mimicking diet 3 times in a row, providing benefits and improving your bioage, reducing of 2.5 years effectively measured. So we are talking about an example of something that wasn't tested before, and that puts us in the position to be one of the only, or anyway, one of the few companies that can rely on some effective, important and impact factor trials that provide outcomes for longevity in this sense.
Hi everyone, Peter here. Today's episode is a little different. It's a special partnership episode with L-Nutra, the company behind Prolon and the fasting-mimicking diet. So why are we doing this partnership? Because we're running a Prolon sweepstakes right now. So 10 contestants will win FMD kits, and entering is very easy. Just hit the link in the description below. Now, if you already know Prolon inside out, feel free to skip straight away to the giveaway. But if you'd like a deeper dive into the science, stick around. So to make the contest useful for you, we've created 2 pieces of extra content. This interview with L-Nutra Europe CEO Andrea Ghirardi to cover the science, the kit, and where Nutri technology research is heading. And there's also a brand new LEVITY knowledge article that breaks down the FMD step by step for anyone who wants the full nerd level detail. You can find the link to that article in the description below. And also a quick shout out and thank you. Thank you so much for helping us pass 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Our next target is 10,000 and we're going to work hard to earn that. And if you like what we do here, check out the LEVITY newsletter. Also, again, there's a link in the description below. It's mostly free and it mixes weekly longevity news, essays, biotech interviews, and deep dives like today's. Now, a little heads up before we begin. This episode is shorter than usual. It's clearly part of a paid sponsorship, and Patrick's not in the co-host chair this time, but he'll be back, of course, when our regular programming resumes. And with that, let's get into it. Here's my conversation with Andrea Ghirardi. My guest today is Andrea Ghirardi, CEO of L-Nutra Europe, the longevity nutrition company spun out of Dr. Valter Longo's research at USC's Longevity Institute. L-Nutra's flagship program, Prolon, is the original 5-day fasting-mimicking diet, designed to trigger many of the benefits of a water-only fast while still letting you eat. Andrea oversees European operations, clinical partnerships, and new product rollouts. Andrea, welcome to LEVITY.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
This fasting-mimicking diet has a long story behind it. Would you care to give some background to how this all got started?
Of course. First of all, glad to be here, especially as CEO of the European companies, but also as the Chief Operating Officer at the group level. I'm excited to share some insights of our exciting project, which since the beginning has been something like an outstanding innovation pathway versus something unexplored yet, because we started up thanks to the genius of the initial discovery of Valter Longo, where at USC he was working on the University of Southern California, but also with collaboration here in Milan. He started to discover a Nutri technology that has game-changed the possibility to work on metabolic issues thanks to a standalone platform. We call it Nutri technology, but in the end means a lot of things. So considering that we started up with this new innovation that we have applied into the project, and the project now as a direct-to-consumer arms and a medical division, because thanks to this innovation and thanks to the ecosystem connected to this, we are trying to improve the possibility for patients and people to take care about their healthy aging. And that's why we call longevity, and that's why we call health side, because in the end, we provide solutions that are trying to improve the general health condition, thanks to some a nutritional dietary regimen. So, for example, what is fasting-mimicking diet is? Fasting-mimicking diet is a dietary regimen designed to induce cellular and metabolic changes, similar to those who've seen water-only fast, as you said before, but with controlled food intake, no? You know what I mean? So this is achieved significantly reducing calories, of course, and protein intake while maintaining a moderate fat consumption for a short period, typically 5 days. That's why we're calling it periodic fasting. And but I don't want to talk about fasting because in the end is a nutritional program. It's just the simulation of the fasting in order to get the benefits of that. So resuming to normal eating in the end. So the FMD want to promote the cellular repair and as demonstrated to reduce inflammation and potentially improve metabolic health markers associated to aging and disease. So if you want to a little bit break down that, how does it work? So you have calorie and macronutrients restriction involving substantial reduction of calorie intake, which is about 40 to 5% of usual intake the first day, and then 10 to 20% for the rest of the 4 days, you know? So it restricts protein, carbohydrates, and increase healthy fats instead. No? In the shift of macronutrients ratio, it helps the body to transition into a state of mimicking fasting. That's the main point. So the metabolic switch, then it comes with the reduced glucose and insulin, which lower calorie and carbohydrate intake led to decreased blood glucose levels and insulin, which are the key drivers of cellular growth and proliferation, you know? And that's, we come to the ketone production. As the body uses fat for energy, it produces ketone bodies, and which can be used by itself as a fuel and may have protective effects. So that's why we talk about this. And
yeah, I think it's so wonderful because one of the things that I really like Prolon, having tried it myself several times, is that this is essentially food, right?
Of course.
This is no medical intervention in form of a drug. This is no supplement. This is food, but it's the way that you compose the food. It's the way that
it's the formulation, and the formulation clinically tested in order to obtain some specific outcomes. That's why it's food, but we tested it multiple times, and that's why we apply into a medical division for eventually be safe in promoting for patient in condition, obviously. But in the meantime, it's something like an healthy habits, like every food that you can describe this way. But we provide a solution in order that patient and people can rely on and trust on something already studied and not just making it on their own, but they could. So our science is open, and nutrition is open to everyone. So
we know that we had Dr. Valter Longo on the podcast recently. It's our most viewed episode to date, and so we talked quite a lot about the formation of the development of the fasting mimicking diet, and how that came to be. But when was L-Nutra formed, and how did that company start?
The company was founded in 2009, obviously as a spin-off, a university spin-off of this project in Southern California, and then in parallel was developing in Milan, in Italy, the other pillar, the other arms of the company. That's why I consider our company an American-Italian company, but effectively is an American company. So we started to scale there, and we started to position ourselves in the market, supported by doctors at the beginning. Then we scaled up thanks to our innovation, thanks to the immediate response of the people, especially in California, where we were growing very fast, and also during the COVID period. Then the company has switched to a model directly to the people, directly to consumer, and I think this is the result of two main points. We are understood by the people, and the new trends rely a little bit more on the self and a more conscious way to treat nutrition, or anyway to self-analyze their habits in order to start to take in charge of their own health, because this is a little bit the attitude. And what is coming now. So the ultimate trend, when we talk about longevity, obviously we talk about a new market trend, but also the attitude of specific categories that are looking for how the magic solution, but also some good habits to improve their health, and especially to increase the health span and improve the health and longevity in terms of having an healthy aging and prolongate their how can I say that? Prolongate the period where you are able to live your life at 100%. Means without being affected by pathology or reducing the possibility of that impact as well. So this is the ultimate trend. We, as many other companies right now in the world, but we consider ourselves pioneer, we started to work on formulation and test them a lot. So we have been published, you talk with Valter, but also you did many analysis on that. So we published more than 40 clinical trials, and that's why we consider ourselves very well backed. And yes, we still are passionate about innovating day by day in our environment, producing formulation that can fit in terms of ingredients, in terms of combination, macro micronutrients. They are balanced and formulated to be effective and valuable for people to be clean in terms of formulation, but also to perfectly fit with the need of the everyday diet and eventually for some intervention with a specific feature required from any condition when we talk about the medical division. So for example, we applied FMD to some specific chronic disease. First, we consider as being obviously because of the impact, especially in the United States. If you think about diabetes type 2, we have 300 million of people in the United States, and 90 million people are affected by obesity, severe obesity, or diabetes. So talking about that, we launched a program to reverse and not just treat or manage the diabetes type 2 patient and condition. And we have been very successful in provide outcomes. And by the way, we look for a project that can be also sustainable in the long term. So patient outcome and sustainability, especially in a moment where healthcare system are in crisis across the globe, not just in US. We have a different model in Europe, you know that. We have a different welfare, but the problem is pretty shared, and you can find the same situation a little bit across the globe. So the outcome for patients are pretty reducing, and they are overwhelmed by extra cost and the difficulty of getting a good service for a sustainable amount. So I think that we are touching a very sensitive topic, and our goal is to find solution for people and for patients, because you innovate just if you find solution that can be helpful for more people. Otherwise, you're just trying.
We have all these other types of interventions that people are doing. They're doing intermittent fasting, they're doing time window eating, they're doing water-only fasting. Why do you feel that the FMD and your formula is better, a better path forward for your health?
This is a good question. I'm not against any solution that works, but I'm not here as a doctor to judge someone. I'm here as a CEO of a company to express what I think could be helpful. Just to clarify, I respect a lot the intermittent fasteners and any other fastener, but we are not a fasting company, by the way. So the funny thing is that because we simulate that, we have been considered that. And we have a calorie restriction, so yes, we can be part of the movement. But what I say is just it's not better or worse. It's something that has demonstrated to works, and because of fasting used to be historically in any society an habit, so it's very ancient, like a practice if you think about it. But what's the matter in here? Fasting itself, especially water fast, for a long period, the necessary one for obtaining benefits, of course it's dangerous, because you need to be checked and controlled, and because you are not providing the right nourishment to your body. So obviously it occurs a risk. So what we did is to create, with fasting-mimicking diet, a combo, a nutritional plan, which is safe, tested, because provides everything you need for your health and for being in a good nutritional state. And so, of course, you have a calorie restriction, but that's why we measure that. It's not an opinion, it's science. So we test that, and we have seen how, thanks to this program, maintaining these benefits and improving, the general health, thanks to the work of the fasting-mimicking diet, we can provide data, and we can be sure about the mechanism and about the safety. So the main point for me is everyone should be, and I hope that in the future our daily learning could be helpful for the future of people across the countries, to try to find the perfect fit with their own habits, but in order to find a better match with what is the current world, that requires to adjust a little bit our habits in order to making it healthier. This is a tool, a solution that could help you as an intervention, and most of the people that have done it then can rely on something that first of all has triggered some mindset change in order to be more conscious about commit on how to manage his own diet or her own diet. And the second is how we can improve our general condition thanks to some little attention on a daily basis, because we work on these 20% that can improve much more the general health. The rest is depending by the attitude, the physical exercise, the mental health, reducing stress. Everything is important for improving your general health. But nutrition, I always remind that nutrition is the only natural mechanism that provides you nourishment and macro and micronutrients to the body. So in the end, where do you want to start if not with nutrition? So that's a little bit my opinion here.
Yeah, of course, over the last several years, there's been another player coming into the market as well that may or may not compete with you. And I'm, of course, talking about the incredible success of the weight loss pills like GLP-1 agonists.
Of course.
How has that changed anything for you? And why do you feel that your offer is still something to take seriously here when there's weight loss pills in the world?
First of all, I think that innovation is key for the world, and I think that all the companies that have been working, we remind Novo sometimes, but there are many now with GLP-1 related, I think that made a step and have done something. So I'm not the one that is going to criticize, or of course it's the opposite. I think that innovation just reward the job of people that thinks about the future. But I will say we consider ourselves first of all different, because we talk about sustainable solution, because we rely on some more natural way to control mechanism. And I think we can consider ourselves complementary, and I think that any smart doctor should be able then to analyze the patient status to understand what's the right solution, which is the right solution to provide. And I'm happy that at the current time we can provide different solution, different sources, different opportunity for patient. Of course, if you are in a severe condition, possibly you will require an initial strong intervention, eventually with the GLP-1, and then you can continue with a more compliant methodology that is gonna demonstrate to have eventually lower side effects or no side effects. But that's why lifestyle is different than the single intervention, and that's why we try to provide that side of the moon,
Yeah. When you order the kit, you get this the full 5-day kit. You get this great big box. And can you tell us what's inside?
Yes, of course. Mainly the meal plan is based on our historical intervention diet, which includes velvety and soups for every day, for lunch and for dinner. You have bars for breakfast. You have just few supplements, which includes the right completion of vitamins and DHA, good fats. So you have some specific hydration liquid that support you during the diet in order to have the right hydration. And you have some crackers, olives studied for the crackers are composed in the right way for being compliant with the meal plan, and kale crackers based. And you have also olives that are very important for the meal plan. So you're full of things and bars that are gonna help you with the right amount of good fats and micro and macros during the plan. So it changes each day, and then it's gonna provide you the right quantity that will make you feel like good in terms of general health. But in the meantime, you will remain in sort of that level where the sensing pathway are not being triggered, and that's why we calling it mimicking, fasting mimicking, because this solution will provide you the nourishment. Meanwhile, your body will think to be in the fasting mode. That's the discovery we had. That's why we are pretty proud about our nutritional solution. So we provide our one, but really we are really happy to share that. Anyway, a longevity lifestyle that is gonna include different tips for an everyday diet, or we promote exercise, we promote reducing stress. So we are very open to a 360 ecosystem that is gonna help you in living a better and healthier life. And our fasting-mimicking diet applied to this good lifestyle habits as demonstrated to have a positive impact on the general health, and this is something important, because in the end reducing the speed of aging is something that we are looking for every day.
And you have you keep developing these kits, so now you have what is called the NextGen kit.
Yes, of course.
How does that differ from the ones that were that you offered before?
We are keep working on our items in order to find sources, new technology. So we translate the technology into a completely organic, ready-to-eat meal plan, which is gonna be easier, because the society, it requires today to have something easier to be prepared, of course. And we did it thanks to the collaboration with some experts in order to prepare something good, organic based. We control the entire chain for that. So we are happy and proud about this, and we are keeping improving all the elements thanks to better chain, new clean ingredients every day. We started to also provide extra flavors in order to avoid the food diversion, because after all, it's important from time to time. And not just the kit, we launch our L blend, our longevity protein, which is our L protein, which is the blend that we recommend in the longevity diet regime, and especially right after the fasting-mimicking diet, where you are lowering protein. Our blend is going to be very helpful just right after to continue to have the right intake of protein, especially in sort of specific targets of age, because after 65 years old, for example, you can rely on more protein. It's something like study, because we believe in a future which is food as medicine based, but where we create we are a precision nutrition company, so we try to targetize and personalize a little bit more nutrition for obtaining the best from what we have at our disposal. So yes, the project is evolving, and we opened the medical division where we try to also apply our know-how and our technology to support patients. And in the meantime, the longevity movement is expanding, is exploding across the market. So we're trying to maintain our positioning, which is pretty unique, relied on science, relying on being open to new innovation, and we care about patient and people, and we care about sustainability. So we try to do something that can be accessible for most of the people, and we don't rely on some inaccessible entry point where just few people can take advantage by our discoveries. So
yeah, I've tried it several times. I haven't tried the NextGen kits yet.
I would be glad to make it happen.
So my experience is that I shouldn't say that it's easy to finish the 5-day plans. I mean, it's somewhat of a struggle. At least it was for me. I guess it could be very individual. I think when my partner did it, she found it to be pretty easy. But it gets easier day by day, right? So maybe the first few days are a little bit difficult, and then it gets easier.
It's very personal, if I may.
Yeah, I can imagine. I just wanted to say that what I saw immediately afterwards is that fat loss, obviously, but also this incredible feeling of
energy.
I don't know, energy, mental clarity, even happiness. I was like, oh, is this how you could feel? I want to feel this
really
all the time.
You know what is funny is that when I joined the project, I've been experiences like you did, making the test, of course. So a few years ago when I started, I was feeling like the same. And what is funny is that we did a lot of research. So not just science-based, but also some surveys. And what is curious is that most of the people come back with the same feedback, which is mental clarity, this feeling of fresher mind, especially after day 3. And it's connected, of course, to the autophagy and to the mechanism where you start to regenerate and refresh your metabolism and yourself from within. And so it starts with a new mechanism that provides new energy. So this is science, but also feeling.
Yeah, but it's interesting that
curious.
It's so tangible.
Yeah, I agree. It's not very easy to have a product that provides tangible effects like this one, and I was captured by this.
You've done a lot of and others as well have done a lot of studies around, and you've alluded to this a little bit around the FMD. What are the studies that you are most proud of, that you feel shows the best evidence for why FMD is something to try?
Let me say we put a lot of effort in that, and also the science team has worked severely on that. Right now there are some more very interesting that are going to be published, and believe me, we have a spike in the interest when we published on Nature Communication last year, and we were talking about the BioAge article, we're calling it this way, because we have been testing the fasting-mimicking diet 3 times in a row, providing benefits and improving your BioAge, reducing of 2.5 years effectively measured. So we are talking about an example of something that wasn't tested before, and that puts us in the position to be one of the only, or anyway one of the few companies that can rely on some effective, important and impact factor trials that provide outcomes for longevity in this sense. So this is what I can share here, but there are really many. For example, of course, we are finishing, we publish different ones, but I don't want to go into technical details in order to confuse and and eventually get you bored. But of course, the metabolic health ones related, so means the one related to diabetes type 2 reversion, and the ones that are going to underline the positive effects in supporting cancer patient. And we are making studies, and we did studies with Alzheimer versus Alzheimer and supporting Alzheimer patient. So we are trying to push the boundary, but I just want to rely on what we already did. So if you ask me, the most impactful has been this one for BioAge. Looking forward, we try to be a company that, thanks to our technology, can support patient in chronic condition. And we did start with the first little step, which is diabetes type 2 reversion. And our program, which includes obviously doctors and consultation and medical supervision and the flexibility on adapting the model to the patient need, has been very successful. And this is why we are looking forward for trying to expand our dimension to bring this solution across the globe. And we're gonna try to match that, thanks to our IPO potentially next year, where we're gonna expand the possibility of growing this structure for serving different countries and expand the hype on that. Yes.
I should say that LEVITY is not only a podcast, it's also a newsletter, and we will publish a deep dive on the fasting mimicking diet in addition to this episode. And in there, people can get most of the links to most of the interesting studies that have been done around this Nutri technology. So check that out. We will have a link in the description below. But Andrea, where are your customers? If you look at the commercial side, are you mostly in the US, Europe?
We started growing.
Where?
We started growing in US at the beginning. US and Europe are the main markets. US market also, it's easier because it's one language, one market. You know how many people with a different GDP. So in the end, US is always a market where you have more opportunities when you start up a company, and also at the beginning, especially when you need resources or investment for innovation, used to be the main market always. So we started up growing there, and I'm living part of the time in the United States also to manage that business, California based, and we used to be growing in California. It's not a case, obviously, in the two coasts we are more present, so West Coast and East Coast. But by the way, the other main business has been Italy and the European countries, but there is a business that is expanding. So I think we fit with the timing, and it's just a matter of how can we address or build up infrastructure to serve markets. So we are talking with the very important international partners in the Far East. We are present in Australia, in Canada, across any European country with different dimension. We just started up a new entity last year in UK, which is another very important market for us. Germany, where we are starting to expand the market thanks to a new investment there. Of course, France, of course, Spain. But Italy used to be the European headquarters, thanks to our hybrid, obviously, soul. And we started up with a lot of Italian know-how and American one. So Italy still remained another fast-growing market, despite what we can think about the different GDP opportunities. And obviously, also in the Nordics, we are having penetration, despite obviously less populated areas. So a little bit less opportunity to scale at that level. But yes, we are growing also in the Middle East, where we are finding collaboration. We have a partner, and we are finding collaboration to expand the health and reimbursement plan. So we are really working 360, trying to to see where our solution can be effective and can support. Because in the end, what is important is having something that works, that can be trust, and can be also can fit. The market fit means that you need to be in compliance not just with the regulation, but you need to be in compliance with the market expectation, with the people expectation and need. Otherwise, there's something to adjust.
And in 5 to 10 years, where do you see L-Nutra is heading?
I hope that we could add our solution to the standard care for specific metabolic condition treatment. So that's our goal. We work for that. But in the meantime, expanding our ecosystem of longevity product and services based on nutrition, nutritional know-how. And I hope that we could be a referee point for many people, for millions of people in the world, thanks to putting at the common effort what we did study and our innovation and technology for improving the general health and improving the patient opportunities. So that's our goal.
Thank you so much, Andrea. I know that exercise is one of the ways that you can slow your rate of aging, but I think that the fasting mimicking diet is certainly another way that you could do that. And there are not many of that type of interventions out there. So you're doing great work, and good luck with everything in the future.
Peter, has been a pleasure, and thanks for your time and for your attention. I hope we can talk together very soon.